1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome everyone to the morning announcements. I'ma say my name so you can pronounce it. Bomani Armah. Shout out to early risers, I see who you are. My morning ritual, thanks for having me over. Start with audiovisual, dose of Sankofa. My favorite occasions a few moons away. I'm counting rotations to watermelon day. If you're with me this morning, I hope that you're with it. 2 things that I want and 3 ways to get it. Black solidarity, African independence. Honor the ancestors, prepare descendants. 3rd thing you gotta do is love right now. I mean that in every sense and every way you know how. Now throw them up and say what should increase on 1, 2, 3, peace.
Alright, let's do the mic.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning announcements with Bomani Armah on Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. I am Bomani Armah, and we are 44 days away from Watermelon Day at Sankofa. We are here to honor the ancestors, prepare the descendants, and love right now. Make sure to like and follow if you're watching on Facebook, and like and subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to my partners broadcasting the morning announcements, including Bloom Bars, Story Tapestries, and Sankofa Video and Books. Go to the link in the description to find out more. All right, we're going to start this day off like we start every day with our libation. Today's libation is for Wilma Glodean Rudolph. Wilma Rudolph, June 23rd, 1940 to November 12th, 1994. Let's get into this. An American sprinter who overcame childhood polio and went on to become a world record-holding Olympic champion and international sports icon in track and field. Following her success in the 1956 and 1960 Olympic Games, Rudolph competed in the 200-meter dash and won a bronze medal in the 4x100-meter relay at the 1956 Summer Olympics at Melbourne, Australia. She also won 3 gold medals in the 100 and 200-meter individual events and the 4x100-meter relay at the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome, Italy. Rudolph was acclaimed as the fastest woman in the world in the 1960s and became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympic Games. Let's get into this quote. This is a pretty long one, but this gets right into what her story is. After the scarlet fever and the whooping cough, I remember starting to get mad about it all. I went through the stage of asking myself, Wilma, what is this existence all about? Is it about being sick all the time? It can't be. So I started getting angry about things, fighting back in a new way with a vengeance. Wow, the vengeance of Wilma Rudolph. Let's read this quote again. After the scarlet fever and the whooping cough, I remember I started to get mad about it all. I went through the stage of asking myself, Wilma, what is this existence all about? Is it about being sick all the time? It can't be. So I started getting angry about things, fighting back in a new way with a vengeance. Wilma Rudolph. The battles Wilma had to fight were tremendous. Fortunately, we live in a post-polio vaccine world and can't fully understand the depths of disability and despair it must have been to watch your children or to personally fall into this disease. On top of that, Wilma had all the old school diseases that ravaged communities, scarlet fever and whooping cough. Her level of resilience cannot be measured. They call what she accomplished a miracle. She wore those leg braces on her legs, Forrest Gump style, yet went on to win gold medals. Where is her biopic? This is the kind of hero I want my daughters and sons to be like, someone who takes on their fiercest challenges and turns them into their strengths. We should all still be impressed by her accomplishments. She would say to herself that she had the worst start of any sprinter in the world, and that it's great that races weren't 30 meters, but by the end, she would catch up and turn on and win any race in the long run. I think we all should remember and pour out a libation for one Miss Wilma Rudolph. Let's do that right now. We never forget, so never fear. For homies who ain't here, we pouring out a beer. Because of you, it'll never be the same. We keep saying your name while we pour champagne. For the mothers and the father figures, your flames to flickers, we pouring out some liquor. We're the sons and the daughters of heroes and martyrs. Honor you by pouring out some water. Friends, today's libation is for one Miss Wilma Glodean Rudolph. Wilma, Rudolph. Thank y'all very much. All right, friends, I hope to see y'all in about 45 days. We got the countdown on officially now. Saturday, August 5th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. is Watermelon Day, the annual celebration of summertime watermelon and everything red, black, and green. There will be family-friendly performances. This is all happening at the Pan-African Embassy, aka Sankofa Video and Books. You know I host this every year. I think this is year number 16. I hope to see you there. I'm keeping a lid on who all the performers are. You know Baba C is going to be there, but I'm keeping a lid. I want y'all to be surprised by who the performers are this year. I'm really excited about this event. All right, friends. Let's get into this clip of Wilma Rudolph. Since we just did the libation for her, I love an opportunity for us to listen to the people we're honoring directly. So I'm about to actually play this interview with Wilma Rudolph. I believe this is from the 70s. Let's check this out. Here we go.
Rome, 1960. For champions, the ultimate challenge is always the same, to be the best. Wilma Rudolph set new records in the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, and won the 400-meter relay. In setting this pace, she became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in Olympic track and field competition. Her triumph was called a miracle.
I grew up a lot different from most kids. I grew up with a series of childhood illnesses. The beginning for me was scarlet fever, pneumonia, and the end result was polio, and I wore braces until I was 9 years old. I think the most difficult moments growing up was being teased by my peers and not being accepted to play and do all the things that one wants to do growing up.
At 16, she ran in the 1956 Olympics at Melbourne, Australia. She returned home with a bronze medal for her effort in the 400-meter relay. At home, her incredible speed brought her something worth more than gold, a scholarship.
In the back of my mind, I always tried to work toward education, coming from this very large family and knowing that out of 22 brothers and sisters that I was the first child to have a chance to go to school. And the grandest aspect was that I could trade off my athletic ability for the scholarship, and that was how I thought of it.
Wilma Rudolph's dream is to become the most famous woman runner in the world. In 1960, her moment arrives. Her stage, Rome, the Olympic Games.
My coach, Ed Temple at Tennessee State, that I had been with since I was 13 years old, was named the United States coach for the women's track and field team. So, of course, we rejoiced because it's not very often that you have a chance to have your coach with you. That is something that is so very rare and so very special. And he would always stay with me until the very moment that I had to go through the tunnel to get into the stadium. And then he would run to this one special seat. And by the time I came underneath the tunnel into the stadium, I could look and see him. And that was all I needed. I think every sprinter that goes to that starting line, that moment is afraid of losing. That is always there. But the fear that is in the pit of the stomach, it is more of a nervous reaction than anything else. If it is not there for me, that is a day that I might as well not run because there's no adrenaline. When it's there, I know that I'm on target, that I'm listening for that sound. And I always had the worst start in the history of any sprinter because of my size. And I was the tallest sprinter that ever came through the United States. And my first 30 to 45 yards, I was never in the race. So I was always happy they didn't have 30 and 40-yard races. But the farther I ran, the faster I became. And I could always accelerate in the end. And that was the key to the successes of Wilma Rudolph. Never the start.
In winning 3 gold medals, Wilma finally realizes her dream. Now, she must find new motivation to win.
It was Palo Alto, California, Stanford University, Russia versus the United States. I was running well, but the heart wasn't there anymore. I mean, what do you do when you win all of it? To keep yourself motivated, you have to be a little bit hungry to be there and to stay on top. And this particular day, we were running a relay. We were behind when we started off, And you always think on a stagger start, and you know on a stagger start that, okay, she's going to catch her in the turn, and by the time the baton is passed, we're going to be even. Well, that didn't happen. And then when they passed it the next time, I said, well, by the time they get to the next person, we will be even, or we will be one step ahead. It didn't happen. And by the time it got to me, I saw that we were behind. And I made myself a promise that day. I said, if you catch the Russian, it's history, retire. If you do not catch the Russian, you will have to run another 4 years for the Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. I caught the Russian. I retired. It became history. It was the fastest single race that I'd ever ran in the history of my career. And to get a standing ovation in my own country, outdoors, which I'd never had before, I think was the grandest moment in my career. I retired that day, and I have never regretted it.
Yeah, that was Miss Wilma Rudolph. Thank y'all very much for helping me recognize Wilma and listening to her voice and listening to her tell her story. It didn't matter how fast she started. She was going to finish accelerating, and she did that all the way to the end. So thank y'all very much. All right, friends, let's get into this next thing. Actually, today, I want to make sure we recognize the Independence Day of a particular country. Today, we are going to recognize the Independence Day for Mozambique. Let me get the Mozambique flag up here. All right, we are going to recognize the Independence Day of Mozambique. To help us do that, I'm going to go to my homegirl, Elsie Honey. Every time there's a National Independence Day, I like going to Elsie Honey and letting her play their national anthem and give you some facts about the country that we are recognizing. And so that's what I'm about to do right now. This next track is the national anthem of Mozambique, also called Patria Amada, performed by Miss Elsie Honey. Here we go. Friends, that was an instrumental for Patria Amia. That is the national anthem for Mozambique. Let me actually read for you the lyrics. I love the poetry of these national anthems. So let me read for you the lyrics of Patria Amia, which is the national anthem of Mozambique. In the memory of Africa and the world, beautiful fatherland of those that dared to fight, Mozambique, your name is freedom. The sun of June forever will shine. Mozambique, our glorious land, rock by rock, constructing a new day. Millions of arms, only one force. Oh, beloved fatherland, let's be victorious. United people from Rovuma to Maputo, harvest the fruits of the combat for peace. The dream grows, waving in the flag, and goes cultivating in the certainty of tomorrow. Flowers sprouting of the soil of your sweat in the mountains and the rivers and the sea. We swear by you, O Mozambique. No tyrant will enslave us. Mozambique gained its independence on at the end of a war that ended on September 8th, 1974. The Mozambique War of Independence was an armed conflict between the guerrilla forces of Frelimo, the Mozambique Liberation Front, and Portugal, and they gained their independence. And today is the day they celebrate their independence. So happy Independence Day to the people of Mozambique. Friends, let's see, that there's one more thing I wanted to promote for y'all. I want to make sure y'all know about my ZYX shirts. All right, I don't know if I've plugged those recently. As an educator, this is one of my favorite tools to use in the classroom. Rapping is the art and engineering of language divided by math. I teach through rhythm, rhyme, and repetition. I am a Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts teaching artist. I use different techniques from K2 and then from 3 to 8, but with both groups, I make sure to teach them how to recite the alphabet backwards from memory. The track is produced by Olu and features Olu and Sanadwe. This t-shirt features the backwards alphabet displayed on a rhyme chart. This shows how many syllables land on each of the 4 counts. As a special feature, the ZYX is printed in mirror letters so they appear correctly while you're looking in the mirror. My students use this to practice performing the ZYX while looking at the mirror themselves. This is a great skill for young readers and writers because the library, dictionary, and thesaurus is easier to use when you know the alphabet backwards. It's also a great way to impress people at a party. Get this yourself or for any young scholar that you know today. See the link in the description for more details. Make sure you go get your ZYX shirt. Friends, that is my time. I've got one more thing to do for y'all, and that is to play the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing by J. Rosamond Johnson and James Weldon Johnson. Here we go. Friends, that was Lift Every Voice and Sing by James Weldon Johnson and J. Rosamond Johnson. That is my program for today. There are 3 things that I need you to do today. Honor the ancestors, prepare the descendants, and love right now. Friends, at the count of 3, I need everyone to say peace, throw up the deuces, and I will see y'all on Monday. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Peace. See y'all soon.
Now, the melon is sweet, the water is life. So every time we meet, I'ma give you a slice, cause I'm the watermelon man. I'm the watermelon man. I got the juice and plant the seeds. I reap the fruit and give you what you need, cause I'm the watermelon man. I'm the watermelon man. It's the watermelon man, reppin' red, black, and green. The county of PG sends you greetings from D.